Welcome back to Attack on Titan Anime Review, episode number 15. This is reviewing the 46th episode of the anime, Ruler of the Walls. Yep. This one adapts 67 to 69. Yeah, I think it finishes up the second half of 67. Go through the entirety of 68 and pretty much got about halfway, I'd say about halfway through chapter 69. Yeah, the chapters are Outside the Walls of the Orwa District, Ruler of the Walls, and Friends. Yeah, next week's episode is going to be called Friends as well. This one picks up right where last week's episode left off. Though they don't they don't say on this particular episode of what Historia's condition was, though you can show it. She doesn't say it in any of the flashbacks. And Eren explains the reason why everybody has to stay behind the walls is because this particular Titan is attracted to a very large population. It'll pass by a small village, leave perfectly fine, but if it's a large area, it will attack it. Though there is some reminiscent of basically the pilot episode of the series. Yeah, there is some similarities to that. And we also get a chance to see what this Ross's Titan space looks like. It has no face at all. It basically looks like it's an incomplete Titan. Yeah, because it's whole time crawling. Yeah, and the fact it's got no belly, its guts are spilling over the place. Yep. And wow, the way his face looks like, it looks like something you would see out of another series where someone's face would be just sliced right off, like nothing there. The way to defeat the Reed Ross Titans is actually quite ingenious. Well, first, they fire a bunch of cannons at both on top of the walls and from the ground. The ground's not doing much effective. And then they basically pile up a bunch of barrels of gunpowder while also tying some rope. And of course, Eren at one point was beating the crap out of himself because he thought he was weak. And of course, Mitsuka and Armin had to stop him. They also, prior to this, basically see these three kids, which they're going to go through a very similar situation that they went through 5 years before the start of the series when they first saw the Colossal Titan on top of the wall way back in chapter 1 in the manga and in the first episode of the anime. Very similar. Yeah, and the way when the Ross Titan shows its face, it's very similar effectiveness of when the Colossal Titan showed up. Though, I would not be surprised if somehow Mitsuka, Armin, and Eren decided to talk to these kids afterwards and tell them about their experience seeing the Colossal Titan and their experience seeing the Ross Titan. Which they don't call the Turkey Titan in the series. Nope. So the fate will first have Eren go to his Titan form, and these kids seeing the Titan form, they're probably shocked, but they're not scared. Like, they're scared of the Ross Titan. That's acceptable, but them being surprised to see a Titan shifter on top of the wall and pick up this big, huge, kind of like a bag, a net bag full of gunpowder, and of course, this is exploding gunpowder. First, they also use the 3DM gear to wound the thing on the sides, and Eren throw the thing down, the thing sort of blows up, and little pieces scatter the place, and of course, then the survey corps just launches right out and slices and dices these things. Historia does want to go. Eren tells him no, but he says he's in no condition to stop her, so she goes anyways, and she takes out the nip. And somehow she gets her father's memories. And then she introduces herself to the populace as Historia Ross, the true ruler of the walls. We don't get a reaction for that. It just that then it cuts to seeing Kenny alive and well, though he's on the verge of death. And Levi shows up to sort of, talk to him and probably take him to custody. He also brings that, his whole squad was wiped out. And it looks like next week's episode we might get a chance to see exploring the history between Kenny and Levi in next week's episode. I gotta say, for an episode that looked like it definitely wrapped up this particular arc, that's the way it looked in this particular episode because they are taking care of the Reed Ross Titan. And my guess is that possibly next week's episode will be the finale for this arc. Yeah, it'll probably finish adapting chapter 69, and it'll probably adapt the entirety of chapter 70. It just depends exactly what I want to do. But great episode of the anime. Yeah, really great. Can't think of anything I missed. not gonna think. Oh yeah, the half the squad basically is one dealing with the barrels, and of course Hanj. And you all see me. He's got these gunpowder barrels. Like you don't really see this that much in the anime of her lifting up stuff that's basically normally lifted by two hands. She lifts up these gunpowder barrels with like one arm. Yeah, she lifts up like no problem at all. Because she has Amazonian strength. Yep. I'm trying to think, there was anything else? Not really, no. But it was, yeah, like I said, it's a great episode. I do recommend it. Okay? And stay tuned for next week for episode 47, Friends. Which this one probably could be the final episode of the Uprising arc, because the way this arc is, I mean, toward the end of this arc, it seems like it was setting up for the next arc, which is something that the series is building up towards since the Battle of Troust. Finally doing that. Okay. So yeah, that's really it for this particular review. I don't know if there's any changes. I'm hoping that someone explains if there's any changes. I mean, they didn't seem like with much change. It looked like pretty much the same, mostly anyways. But yeah, that's a particular review. My next review is going to be a review of the newest chapter of One Punch Man. Yeah, and it's been like a month since the last chapter came out. Yeah. I don't think this one will be as long as last chapter. Of course, that chapter was like over 100 pages. I don't think this one will be that long. But I'll find out when I get a chance to look at it, okay? But until you see the next review, bye.